Just in time for the spooky season, time of recording, Hunter x Hunter returns, dusting off the cobwebs, rising from the crypt, blowing away the dust, to give us more of that nen-coated goodness. How many of you remember what happened last time? How many of you needed a refresher? How many of you reread in anticipation for this day? Did you watch the anime, or did you simply read the manga? I'm interested to know. It's actually funny. I had just finished a rewatch not too long ago. I'd say about almost a year. It was about 6 months ago that I finished a complete rewatch of the series, not knowing that it would just return. But for the sake of this video, let's talk about what happened in the previous chapter some, 4 years ago? So, we have the whale ship that is sailing to the Dark Continent. Aboard it are the members of the Zodiac, which includes Kurapika, who has only joined in an effort to get back the remaining eyes of the Kurta clan that are in the possession of Saraidnik, one of the princes in a succession war to declare the new king of the Kakian Empire. But this is no minor succession war, no. It is one where each of the princes have been given a Nen beast of their own, whether or not they know anything of Nen or not. Some do have experience, some don't. Some are full-grown adults, some are children. Several have died, one unbeknownst to the other princes, thanks to a Nen ability of their own. That was a bit of a trip. But throwing another spanner in the works is the Phantom Troop, on the hunt for Hisoka, who murdered 2 of their members, and has been desperately trying to off Crollo Lucifer. The Phantom Troop has also run a bit afoul of one of the 3 mafia families aboard the ship, one of which, the ZU family, wants to use the Phantom Troop for their own ends, and had decided to join in on the search for Hisoka, who should be aboard the whale ship as well. Why should we care about mafia families? Because each of the families is backed by a member of the royal family. The Jiyu family is backed by Zhang Li, who is still trying to suss out his abilities. Their boss, Oniroi, is having them search for Hisoka, but also try to do in one of their rival factions. The Hei Li family, backed by Saraidnik, the objective of Kurapika's mission, who is led by an illegitimate royal of the Kakian Empire, who has no claim to the throne, Mirana, and so one of the underbosses of the GU, Heinrich, has been given a mission: find Hisoka, kill the boss of the Heili. But their search is not as easy peasy as they would have it. While Heinrich and his associates have gone searching for members of the Heili, they have found that the Heili have employed registered civilians. And, well, on the ship, mafia members are registered as mafia members, civilians are registered as civilians. You try not to get things all mixed up. And in a confrontation, 2 of Heinrich's associates, Lynch and Jakuro, have managed to kill these so-called civilians on paper, mafia members in truth. Something that got them into a bit of trouble with the local authorities. But in order to silence these authorities and make it known that, well, keep it from being known that the GU are up to anything nefarious, Heinrich uses his ability to off the 2 guards, making it look as though they shot each other. You catch any of that? Isn't it very complicated? Would it be Hunter x Hunter if it wasn't? Seriously. By the end of the day, you start to wonder, how many of these characters should I actually keep note of in the long run? Especially since this isn't currently involving Kurapika, but at some point it eventually is, especially with Kurapika trying to keep tabs on all the various princes and such by taking the limelight and teaching a member of each of the princes' entourage Nen, something that would gain the attention of anyone trying to go around and kill some of the other princes, but would also give the protection detail of those princes without knowledge a way of defending themselves. So Kurapika has created a target by essentially outing those who would just silently kill others and giving strength to those who would just silently be killed, as far as I know. If I missed anything, feel free to let me know. And if you've made it this far through this hackneyed explanation, Good on you. So let's jump into the wildness that is the newest chapter of Hunter x Hunter. Time of recording. And can I just say how weird it is to have Hunter x Hunter back, and on the colored cover is both Gon, who is in no way involved with this story arc, and Yusuke, who damn well shouldn't be involved in this story arc. And I don't even know what the creature behind them is. Is it a representation of the little thing that gave the princes of the Kakin their powers? I think. Vaguely seems familiar to me. Regardless, the two guards shot themselves dead as far as the people know. And of course the crowd panics. We're in a food court after all, with people yelling, "We need a doctor," and call in the other soldiers. What? Oh my gosh, they shot each other. And Heinrich and his associates are just walking off casually. Zakuro informs Heinrich, "Okay, we'll go look for Hisoka as per the plan." And Heinrich just simply says, "I'm counting on you. If you find him, sit tight until you can get in touch with me. I'm going after that woman while I lure out the Haley guys on this tier." Zakura and Lynch say, "Got it." That's right. Heinrich was in contact with a member of the Haley who had managed to use the fact that the Haley had managed to employ registered civilians and keep it on the hush-hush, using them to get away from Heinrich. We see Zakura and Lynch walking through a hallway. I think Zakura says this hall looks empty enough. Zakura then uses his net ability of Bloody Mary to just splatter blood on the wall. Well, his blood on the wall from that cut he received previously. And then it starts moving in a specific direction. Weird. Lynch simply says, "Ew, I can never get used to this." Zakura says, "Aren't they cute though?" And Lynch, the non-weird one of the two, says, "No way." Sakura says, "Come on, be a little bit more respectful to my blood." Weird words. Every drop is trying its best to find Hisoka. Each of them is a hero. What? Each drop of blood is sentient? Yeah. Lynch takes a drop and looks at it, and it looks back at her. He says, "Ew, it even has eyes." And she squishes it. It's smudged on her finger, but then it reforms into a droplet with eyes. And she says, "Ew, how can I get it to die?" Sakura says, "Why are you trying to kill it? I mean, it's Nen. It'll go back to regular blood once the aura runs out in about 30 to 40 minutes." And Lynch, being straightforward, says, once they spot anyone suspicious, I can punch them and make them talk. Yeah, with her ability where if she asks you a question and punches you, she can literally knock the answer out of you. I actually love that ability. I would love to be able to use that ability. I would get so jacked just to be able to be like, "Okay, tell me what you know." "I don't know nothing." BAM! And just get the answer that way. Friggin' top informant for a mafia. Or be a cop. Okay, so essentially he just looked for a remote place where he could just send out his blood. But how far can the blood go, and how far can it search? And shouldn't he stay in the remote area for when his blood tries to get back to him with an answer? Or can they respond to him remotely? Weird. Alright, in response to what Lynch just said, Zakuro says, "We go over this every time. You don't have any interest in anything I say, do you, Lynn?" We then pick up with Heinrich, who is making his way to another level, I think. Or another section of the level. It's kind of weird. Several pigeons are around him. Okay. Heinrich gets in communication with a soldier, and the soldier goes over and asks a couple who have their phone up on one of those selfie sticks, which I thought I'd see that in Hunter x Hunter, but considering the sliding time scale of this series, like, do you remember when Hunter x Hunter used to have VHSs and very analog and rudimentary cell phones? Just some weird stuff. And now we got smartphones and selfie stick. The soldier asks the couple, "May we look at your camera?" And as they look through, Heinrich says she's not in any of these. And I think they just keep going through asking people about their cameras. I mean, it's smart enough, but it ain't really inconspicuous to just go with a soldier asking people to see their selfies. And sure enough, with enough time, He actually does find a picture that has the woman walking down a corridor. I guess it's corridor 31. Heinrich says, bingo! And he looks at a map. Well, I guess he has a mental image of a map, thinking to himself, the hallway that leads to the standard cabin. That's the only access route. So they're also likely monitoring who's coming and going. We know what Miranda looks like, the leader of the Haley, okay? And the others will be obvious with their aura, okay? But it wouldn't hurt to identify the 23 of them as soon as possible. And Heinrich hands over some cash to the couple, who are just like, huh? This much? Heinrich says, we need to hold your camera as important evidence. Consider it collateral, just in case. Hey, shoot, that looks like an old-timey video camcorder too, so they might have gotten like real good money for that. Heinrich waves off the soldier. Oh right, his weird-ass ability that seems to turn inanimate objects into animals. But the animals still have some semblance of their faculties, but they're under Heinrich's control. Yeah, we learned about it last issue. Biohazard. So he transforms the camcorder into a cat and then tells it, I'm setting you to record mode, as he presses on its cheek and it meows and it goes running off to the nearby fountain right next to the corridor that the one lady went through. And then the cat's just up on the fountain recording that one corridor. That is wild. So the birds following Heinrich have to be some kind of weapon or something that he's using to protect himself. Heinrich thinks to himself, it would be convenient if they're all hiding back there, but that's not realistic. Now that their benefactor, the fourth prince, has backed out, there's nothing stopping them. We have no idea what Haley will do or what are they after. Honestly, being honest, I don't actually remember when Saradnik cut ties with them. But then again, it might have been because they've been on a bit of a killing spree and he's not trying to be associated with that out in the open. So let me know in the comments when that was stated. Heinrich thinks to himself, it must be the second track Faker's rebellion. That would make everything make sense. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for those relegated to the shadows to settle old scores. The killing spree could be training for what's to come. And I think we have members of the Haley observing Heinrich, saying, there he is. Heinrich, the GU underboss. One of them says, he's out on his own? What does he take us for? We can take him down with the three of us. Another says, he's seriously on edge with that end thing. He'll know we're here if we get within 16 feet of him. Another says, I'll go first. Watch for an opening and finish him off. The other guy says, you're just going to treat this like a normal fight? You're going to use a gun? Another guy says, well, that might distract him a bit. By the way, killing a Nen user is worth 10 levels, right? Oh yeah, the level thing. The three of us can share that evenly. Yeah, because of Miranda's ability, their leader, depending on the people that they kill, their level goes up and their Nen abilities increase. Well, their aura increases, so the more they kill, the more powerful they become. One member says, the one who finishes them off gets all 10. The guy says, are you for real? Shouldn't it be weighed by contribution? The guy says, who decides who did how much? The younger looking guy says, the boss, duh. She created the ability. I wouldn't be surprised if she can tell what we're doing at all times. The guy with the scars on his head says, whatever, just do it and find out. It's like, this shit too complicated, just do the deed. The guy with the angular looking face says, I don't care, as long as I get to kill. Yeah, that's another problem with this. Some of these guys are just murderers. The guy with the angular face is Padilla, a conjurer. Demolition, he's a demolitions guy, level 29. The young looking kid is Corole, an emitter. He's a repairman, level 22. And Tevelers, the guy with the scars, an enhancer, a civil engineer, level 24. Padilla uses his abilities thinking, if I can get reincarnated, I want to be a lethal weapon. Whoa. That's a weird ability. Padilla's hand turns into a hammer. That's his ability. Fistful of weapons, I'm coming to get you. He thinks because I would feel the skin, the blood, the flesh, the moment the life is taken. That was my wish, but thanks to Miranda, I was granted while I'm still alive. For Miranda, And for myself, I'll do my best to kill people. Jeez. No wonder Miranda was associated with Cyrenic. They're both psychopaths unleashing this kind of shit into the world. And Pedale comes creeping up on Heinrich, ready to just bash his brains in. But as he gets ready to strike, it's obvious that Heinrich notices, and then something happens to Pedala's hand. Oh, he's been handcuffed by one of the birds that were flying around Heinrich. Heinrich is taken off. No, Pedala is taken off guard. Thinking to himself, he transformed handcuffs into pigeons to use as lookouts. And Heinrich just turns to the dude and says, "Does your ability even have a point?" The pigeon then fully transforms into handcuffs, putting Pedala's hands right behind his back. Heinrich says to the others, "What about you two? It would make things easier if you all came at me. If you called for help, it would be even better." Yeah, because he's trying to draw out more members. He says, "I have plenty more pigeons." The Travelers and Correlate pull out guns and just start shooting at the pigeons. I think they try to shoot at him too, Heinrich, but I think he catches the bullets or something. But when that doesn't seem to work, he just tells them they were handcuffs to begin with and reinforced with aura. Guns can't kill him. But we see Pedala has turned his hand into some kind of screw? I have no idea what that is. And he tries to stab Heinrich while he's not paying attention. But Heinrich managed to get out of the way at the last second, blocking it with his friggin' hand as the screw just starts wheeling its way through his hand. Oh, that's brutal. Heinrich says, "I see, you can make all sorts of weapons." Pedala says, "The sensation of death. No two are the same." But Heinrich then just kicks him away, and one of the pigeons turns into a handcuff, grapples onto his leg, attaches it to the handcuff still dangling from his arm, connecting, which will inhibit his movement. As Heinrich says, "There. Now what are you going to do?" The other two are just standing back, not even doing anything, and Heinrich says, "Looks like your friends aren't coming to help you. Were you abandoned?" Pedala says, "Screw you," and transforms his arm into an axe, thinking, "I could take care of this on my own. I'll chop it with an axe." And he says, "It's just a chain." But Heinrich just takes Pedala's hand, his axe hand, and just shoves it right into the back of his own head, saying, "Not gonna happen. Good for you. You got to feel what it's like to kill and be killed all at the same time." This guy is actually pretty awesome. And the guy, his last words are just, "Yeah." Okay then. But as a crowd sees this happening, they start to kind of freak out. And Heinrich says, "I wish I could have taken them somewhere else to be more discreet." He thinks, "Misha, I'm counting on you." Who the hell is Misha? Corelle and Travelers go racing off with Corelle saying, "Those pigeons are a serious problem. Now what?" Travelers says, "We don't want to get caught and interrogated on where the hideout is. Let's go ask Miranda." So they're probably leading Heinrich right to their hideout then. Couple of dopes. So we're really building up this Heinrich guy. And is it just in an effort to build up his mafia family? I mean, is he going to matter in the long run? Because what happens when these members of the GU do find Hisoka? I can't imagine he's going to let them live, especially with what they're trying to do. So I feel like what's happening here is we're buffing up Heinrich, showing that he's smart, he's resourceful, and he plans ahead. That way, he ends up dying at the hands of Hisoka, but it feels more impactful because we know how capable this dude is. That's what it feels like we're leading to. Because this guy, Heinrich, he's smart, he's tenacious, he's capable, but honestly speaking, the whole situation with the Haley family has just been odd. I mean, a group of killers going out there to kill as many people as they can in order to boost their levels and so on and so forth. It's not bad. It's just, I don't know. It kind of takes away from the whole situation with Hisoka. Or maybe it could lead into something better with Hisoka. After a certain point, maybe he can't contain his bloodlust knowing that so much killing is going on. But I feel like Hisoka teaming up with Verena would be something interesting because Hell, he goes around killing, increases his level, becomes more powerful, he can take down more members of the Phantom Troop. But would Hisoka even want something like that? He's very prideful, so would he gel with the idea of artificially boosting his own abilities? Would he get off on that, or would he not? Would he find it an affront? Because I don't see Miranda living. Her ability is way too specific to having followers. But the idea of anyone with any sort of ego following her, I just don't see it happening. She really does feel like a character set up for a specific purpose and then die. So, I don't know. And all this wild stuff happening, and we haven't involved anything with Kurapika. At least not yet. I do wonder how this will factor into the Phantom Troop. I mean, will the Phantom Troop take kindly to the fact that these mafia families are trying to control them, you know? Shoot, that might just put a bigger target on Heinrich's mafia's family with what they're trying to do. I don't know. It's still weird because you don't know how everything's going to fully connect just yet. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you feel like we're artificially boosting up Heinrich's abilities just for him to be taken down by someone else later down the line? Or will he actually be a big player in the grand scheme of things? Because I know we've been trying to do some interesting stuff with Zhang Li as well, and he's their benefactor. But so many of the Zhiyu's family have been killed. I really am wondering where this whole mafia war is headed, and if it really is the primary part that the Phantom Troop is going to play, and is more of just an incidental situation when getting involved with the search for Hisoka. It's hard to say. But again, thoughts, theories, comment section below. Also remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notification. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, excited as hell that Hunter x Hunter is back, even though usually it's better to just read it in one go. But, I mean, who could do that? But I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.